This is World History 1, Chapter 5, Classical Greece, 2300 BC, Video Segment 1. First thing we're talking about is the culture and geography of Greece. The geography of Greece really shaped its culture and its history. It's a country of mountains and the sea, and the geography shapes Greek life. It's a peninsula, so on three sides of the entire country, it's surrounded by water. The sea becomes the main transportation to all city-states and other countries in Greece and everywhere else in the Mediterranean. There's so many mountains that it makes travel by land from one Greek city-state to the next very cumbersome, time-consuming, and dangerous. Therefore, the main way to travel from point A to B is by boat, via the ocean. And to other countries as well. Because Greece is so heavily populated with mountains, there's a lack of resources. They don't have vast open plains for food, they don't have very thick forests for timber, and so on and so forth. Because they have a lack of resources, they have a need for trade. They need to trade what items they do have, what items they don't. So they are able to trade timber and precious metals. They're able to trade for timber and precious metals for the goods that they are able to produce. When you're looking at Greece, 3/4 of all of Greece is covered by rugged mountains, not just small hills and valleys, very treacherous, very hard to cross mountains, which made agriculture and travel very difficult from A to B. Here we see a map of Greece. This right here is the cap-off of ancient Greece. This is the northernmost part of ancient Greece. Very thick with mountains in this area. Near the coast you have a thin strip of land that is not mountainous. And then in here, same instance. You see lots of mountains here, down here. Very small areas that are open plains. But here are some of the more prevalent city-states in Greece. Messenia will be one that's important for ancient Greece. Laconia and Sparta will come into play later, as will Athens and the Attica Plain right here. Thebes will come into play later during the end of Greece. Delphi is important because of the oracle, and this is the island of Euboea here, which is also Greek. These islands here, Delos, Paros, and Naxos, and Crete, are also Greek islands. Here you see a topographical map, which is a modern map, but it does show you just how mountainous the region is. So back then, here would be basically the boundary of ancient Greece, and you see the very high mountain plains here, okay, and in the south there are very few places that are at sea level or slightly above that are good for farming. Very small valley areas in these areas here. And these areas are going to be the most highly sought after in all of Greece. Because of all these mountains, land is divided into small city-state regions, each speaking Greek, having a similar heritage, but being independent on their own, different government, slightly different culture, and not united. So these small independent communities have no single government unifying them all. They're all on their own. It is very hard to travel from anywhere in ancient Greece from A to B by road because of all the mountains. Mountains also cause there to be little land suitable for farming. So if you are in a valley that is flat, that can sustain agriculture, very highly sought after, you're going to have to fight for that piece of land. As a result of Greece's terrain, it's hard to support a large population. During ancient times, there are never more than a few million Greeks in existence at any time. Because of this, if there are more Greeks that are being produced, if the population does increase, there's a need for more living space. This excess population has to go somewhere. You need more grassland for livestock. You need more farmland to support the people, which will equate to a push for more colonies. As Greece becomes overpopulated, groups of people from city-states bind together, get on ships, and go establish a colony somewhere else. So, example, Athens, when it becomes overpopulated, people from Athens get on ships, go over, sail to present-day Turkey, and set up a colony there. Athenian values, Athenian language, Athenian culture, not in Athens, but in Turkey. Shared heritage, shared culture, but yet different. And the same goes for other city-states as well. They do this all over North Africa and Southern Europe. Next, we'll talk about the climate of ancient Greece. It's very moderate. In the winter, it's going to get down to about 48 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not bad, especially when you compare that to the winters that we have in the Midwest. That's beautiful. During the summer, it does not get very warm. It only gets to about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So you don't have a very giant shift in temperature. It's not going to be too hot or humid in the summer, nor too cold or too dry in the winter. What this means is that people do a lot of their activities outdoors. Everything in ancient Greece is about outdoor life. Public events, like the theater, like the forum where you discuss government, all happen outdoors. People gather at cafes to discuss news, to debate civic life. Everything is done outdoors. Now I'm going to talk about ancient Greek civilizations. The first one we'll talk about is the Mycenaean civilization. Around 2000 BC, a group of Indo-Europeans settled in Mycenae in Greece. So they originate somewhere around India. This group of people branch out all over Europe and India, while they're Indo-Europeans. And the ones that settle there settle in Mycenae. It's in the south, very green, in one of those fertile valleys we talked about. However, they're very close to the mountains, so there are steep, rocky ridges all around. They're able to cut into those rocky ridges and form protective walls that are 20 feet thick. They use the mountains to their advantage. In Mycenae, warrior kings rule the city. So their number one top dog, a general and a king combined. Not only is it the city itself with protective walls, but you also need the surrounding farmland and other smaller cities. They provide work, they provide food, they provide everything that the major city needs. Examples, Turin and Athens. And the Mycenaeans dominate Greek culture from about 1600 to 1100 BC. This group of people also had contact with the Minoans. We've talked about the Minoans. They were from Crete, and they're actually an island south of Greece. Now, the contact with the Minoans could have been trade, very peaceful, exchange of ideas and goods, or it could have been war. They fought with one another, and they took what they wanted from the Minoans forcibly. What we do know is that after contact with the Minoans, the Mycenaeans become sea traders. They take that tradition of sailing from the Minoans and apply it to their own culture. Same thing with the Minoan language. They take the Minoan writing and make a new Greek language. They take the Minoans' ideas about religion, art, and politics to form the core of Mycenaean religion, art, politics, and literature. The Trojan War. Somewhere around 1200 BC, the Mycenaeans fight a war with their rival Troy, located in Anatolia, which is present-day Turkey. The Mycenaeans and other Greeks besieged the city of Troy in order to recapture Helen, the wife of the king of Sparta. At first, this was thought to be a completely fictional tale told by Homer. However, after many years, archaeology has proved that this story is actually true. Now, Homer's Iliad and Odyssey are very mythical, not real fact-based, but the origin of the story is. Greek culture declines under the Dorians. So after the Trojan War, the Mycenaeans collapsed. That's kind of their high point. They beat the Trojans, they're A number one, they're on top. But after that, they begin to decline. There's no more battles left to fight. They're number one, they begin to regress. Around 1200 BC, people from the sea, these sea raiders, began devastating Greece. They're a hit and run type people. They come in, they take what they want, women, children, slaves, gold, wealth, jewels, and then they leave. They don't stay and populate. but this continually devastates all the Messenian cities and makes them weaker. Shortly thereafter, a group of people known as the Dorians, who moved in from northern Greece to southern Greece, move in, conquer Greece. They're very strong, warlike people, but they're much less advanced. And economy and trade collapses after they take over Greece. So much so that the art of writing is lost from 1150 to 750 BC. The Dorians didn't have a written language. They don't write things down. It's almost as if they banned the other Greeks from using their written language, which is why we have no records from this time period. The epics of Homer. Homer was a blind storyteller. He lived from 750 to 700 BC. What he did is he took oral stories that had been passed down throughout the ages in Greece, and he compiled them into the Iliad and the Odyssey, where it's all about the Trojan War and its aftermath. Some of the main points about the Iliad and the Odyssey are, if you look at Hector, Achilles, any of the main heroes from the story, they are all embody arete, this love of the hero. They embody certain qualities, virtue, excellence, physical stature, whatever the case may be. A hero is someone who's athletic not only on the battlefield but also in sports. They're a well-rounded individual. Now, each one of these heroes is excellent in many, many different things. However, they always have a tragic flaw. That tragic flaw is brought about to show people what happens if you're prideful, if you have greed, if you have whatever the tragic flaw is. And the reason is to teach a lesson, tell a story. If you're proud, this will happen. Even if you're really great at whatever, if you're proud, it'll be a downfall. You can be the greatest person in the world, but if you're greedy, this will happen. The story is meant to show people how to become a better person. Here we have a bust of Homer, and as you see with most busts, he has no eyes. It's not because, well, Homer was blind, not because he had no eyeballs, no eyelids. The point is that with busts, oftentimes the eyes, as we see here, would be adorned with jewels to make up that person's eye. Over time, they either A, fell out, or B, were stolen because of their wealth and they were sought after. So that's why you see many busts from ancient times looking very hollow when it comes to the eyes. They did have eyes, they were just removed. Greek myths. Many of the myths that we have about mythology come from the Hesiod, which is written by Theogony. It's a way to understand nature and human passion. What does that mean? We don't know where thunder comes from. So, hey, Zeus, king of all gods, he's in charge of thunder. When he's angry, he throws down thunderbolts. That's why you have thunder. Passion. Why do people get jealous? Why, if I'm dating someone and my girlfriend looks at somebody else, why do I get mad? Well, look at the gods. When two gods are married and Ares looks at another god or a human, his wife gets jealous. That's why. It's a way to understand human emotions and whatnot. However, the Greek gods are also immortal. They cannot be killed. They live on forever. Zeus and Hera. Zeus, the king of the gods. Hera is the wife of Zeus. Each of them have affairs. They have emotions. They have passions. It's like watching a soap opera. Athena is the daughter of Zeus. She is the goddess of wisdom and the guardian of all cities, especially the city of Athens, where she is the patron saint.